Hey, Cowboys UNcovered. We're back, baby. Joe, help a brother out. Post the link in the chat just to let the Cowboys bros know what's good. Hey, hope y'all had a Merry Christmas.
Write it, Joel, write it.
Look at the pressure look. Showing the pressure. Here it comes from the back. Jordan Lewis got there. Mayfield pitches it forward. Somehow he got it to White. Rashad White gets a gain out of that. The ball taken away by the Cowboys. White was on the way down at the Rob Bland. Took it away. Incredible.
Woo! Welcome to the Cowboys UNcovered. Hey, we just stole Christmas from the Bucs. Let's get it.
Wow,
Hey,
how
you feeling?
What an unexpected win, man! What a way to win that one. There's a lot. That was one of the most exciting, I guess, games that we've seen the Cowboys play this year. Back and forth, really kind of dominated a lot of that, and hey, came away with that dub.
Yes, sir, man. 24-26, Cowboys get the victory. And look, we didn't get the score prediction right. We all had the Bucs winning this one. But it's okay because we got another W, man. Cooper Rush does it again. And I'm impressed, man. This Cowboys team is just showing resilience, never quit type of attitude. We're watching games on Christmas where we got teams quitting. Come on, we've seen some horrible games, and the Cowboys just keep fighting. It doesn't matter who's involved, man. Unfortunately, go ahead.
Yeah, we saw that game yesterday. If you want to call it an NFL game, just
Yeah.
no touchdowns, like just 3 field goals. Like this, it was pretty bad. And then weird coaching decisions. So that kind of makes you think, well, what's the future for Mike McCarthy, and is he really an okay guy for next year? And is there a case there? And I think there is. But before we get into that, Cowboys get a win. We stole the playoff chances kind of like a little bit away. They were going to take the lead in the South that they won, I believe. And now they're I think their playoff chances are something in the 20s from the 70s. So we're playing Grinch there for them as well. Yeah. So I'll take that. The Cowboys are, we have pride. There's something to be said for a team that doesn't give up and has a winning culture, if you will. Like that, we saw this team win 12 games in a row for 3 seasons, and I guess there is some of that winning culture still, but there were a ton of injuries, brand new defensive coordinator. We saw how big of a difference Micah Parsons makes on the field when he's playing. And then not to mention the other injuries that we on defense. And now that defense, like the guys understand Micah's flying around. He's doing, generational type things still. And third downs have been quite impressive for the Cowboys defense. And I think if we go back to just the last, 4 games or so, we're definitely seeing that. Obviously, we should have beat the Bengals because of special teams error, but you got to say that the defense has really kind of carried this team and really injected life and back into maybe even Mike McCarthy as being a head coach next year. We'll see.
Yeah, man. Joe, what's the name of your friend that you added to the group chat recently? I think it starts with the A, and he was hating on us for wanting to tank, right?
Anders? Yeah. He's like, I don't understand that. Yeah.
Shout out to Anders, man. I respect. I mean, Cowboys, they don't want to tank neither, all right? Even though I happen to be on this website called Tankathon, it's just they show the standings, and we're gonna go over some draft prospects today. But this is still a team that we love to fight out of. It honestly makes me happy I'm a Cowboys fan. Like multiple 12-5 seasons in a row, and even in this down year, sitting at 7-8 with their quarterback injured for months, it's like we're on another win streak. Like, what is even going on right now?
Yeah, let's go back and look at the Bucs game. Just a few of the stats there to break that down just a little further, because I think there's a few things that we need to call out and give our shot of the week to. But first, we can start with the offense. Cooper Rush, man, he played pretty darn well.
Absolutely.
What you want is no turnovers and no interceptions. At least is what he's able to give us, right? So that was nice to see. Got a touchdown there. Rico Dowdle. I mean, we really didn't need him, I guess, in this game. We were just kind of passing the ball around and playing defense. But CeeDee Lamb, man, with the bum shoulder, he comes out with 105 yards and a touchdown. So, I mean, Elliott got the touchdown, but he should have gotten that touchdown, man. I thought he just rolled over the guy and into the end zone. It took that away from him, and Elliott just pounded in.
Yeah.
Next play, but yeah. No, we got to talk about CeeDee because Cowboys just shut him down for the season.
That's the only little bit of bad news we got here. Out for the season, they're shutting him down. He even had an interview where he said, my shoulder's jacked up, and that was, I think, before the game. He's like, man, I'm trying to fight through this. But look,
tough guy, really, really tough guy, and that he's showing leadership right there. Like I know earlier in the season, might have looked like he quit, in a game or two. He came back and apologized. All he's done since then is be a leader for this football team and on the field, and then off as well. But he's just showing how tough this team really is and kind of the makeup and the mentality.
Yeah, man. Check this out. Micah Parsons, he's loving it, man. He was saying he thinks CeeDee Lamb might be the best receiver that he's seen. And it's kind of hard to disagree with that. CeeDee's been great since day one. We slow played him with Amari Cooper, but he's stepped into his own. And here's the full quote. I think for CeeDee, what's so impressive is he might be the best player I've seen with my own eyes. Man, he just loves the game of football. Like, I don't think anybody should ever question how much CeeDee brings to the team. He's QB proof. I've seen him get 1,000 yards with Andy Dalton. I've seen him get 1,000 yards with Dak Prescott. I've seen him get 1,000 yards with Cooper Rush. You give him grace to all these. You give grace to all these other wide receivers and say, "Oh, they're not producing because they don't got the quarterback." But CeeDee's showing time and time again he can do it with anyone throwing him the rock. He can find a way to get open. He's competitive. He's a dog. Like when it comes to what's going to fight, what he's going to fight through, man, I just don't think it's comparable. That's why I think he's the best. Love that quote, man.
That's a great team right there. Hey, he's telling the truth. Like.
Yeah. So with that, man, we wanted to, and I'll go back to the stats. We're gonna do a co-shot of the week. I'm gonna flip to defense here. I'm gonna flip to defense. All right, because we're gonna give a shot of the week to both CeeDee Lamb and to Jordan Lewis. All right.
In case you missed it, Jordan Lewis.
Yeah.
Interception of the year, probably.
Yeah, let's take a look.
And 40. And Baker.
Sorry, I don't think that was it. This
Jordan Lewis got that. He took a stiff left hand right to the face mask. Before that got there, McMillan had the ball and just had it completely taken away from him. Look at him, he got his arm in there, so there really was no final catch on the ball, and then Lewis just snatched it out of
pretty nasty, man.
Pretty amazing. I don't think I've seen one like that ever. But yeah, shot of the week, Jordan Lewis and CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb, thank you for your service this year.
Yes, sir.
And, congrats on another 1,000-yard season.
What a beast, man. Cheers. Cheers, Joe. Woo! Woo! Yeah, man. Yeah. Sucks to lose CeeDee there, but I love it, man. You just love to see that as a leader, and we're going to get into it at some point. We're going to get into it at some point here about some draft prospects and maybe some potential guys that could help CeeDee in the future, But right now, man, you just got to be happy that we got him on the squad,
I wanted to point out, just looking at the defense, we saw Vigil play. He started last week, man, so – and he actually did more than serviceable, I thought. Now, the stats don't really show it. If you scroll up a little bit here, I just wanted to see what the categories are.
I got to get back. All right, let's see. Vigil. Here we go. So
Yeah,
5 tackles, 5 assists. You see it?
Yeah, that's a solid game for a guy making his first NFL start, to my knowledge. But you saw the takeaways were there again. You saw that Bland ending the game on that nasty Grinch like larcenous kind of just ripped it out of the guy's hands, man. Just say good night. They're going to playoff chances. But Micah got that fumble, should have been recovered by Vigil. Yeah, he had a shot to get that twice, but man, Micah was all over the field again. We saw him gassed at the end of the game where he couldn't even rush anymore. Lots of tackles for loss we see as well. No, Jordan Lewis, that crazy interception.
Yeah, let me pull up another clip here.
3rd and 40. And Baker. Overneath. Big hit on Payne Durham.
Bro,
Ooh.
This guy we've got so many awesome players. Like, I don't know if it's just because we've got injuries and guys are stepping up, but that was a Meredith Lua foul, and he's making plays, man. He had a forced fumble, and he's just knocking guys out. He's making it really tough on anybody around that middle of the field. So it's like, yeah, we're missing Overshown, but, linebacker, this guy was stepping up and making plays.
Yeah. And that's great to see. I think just like the rest of the guys, he needed an opportunity to acclimate to the scheme as well. But we hear time and time again, he could probably wear the helmet with a mic and tell the defense what to do. So that's exciting prospect for next year and beyond. Who knows what this defense is going to look like, but we've got a solid young core here. Excuse my voice. I was at the Texas Clemson game on Saturday, and it still hasn't recovered. I was about 5 rows up in the field. It was a great game to be at, but still recovering from that. Anyhow, you saying Overshown reminded me of that.
Here, let's see if I got something else while you get a little drink of water here.
46, it's a gain of 27. Mayfield now. Shot down the field. It's McMillan.
This is another angle of that other one. Here's
The pressure look. Showing the pressure. Here it comes from the back. Jordan Lewis got there. Mayfield pitches it forward. Somehow he got it to White. Rashad White.
We need to see that plan again.
It's just
cool.
So many. Like, that was. Look at these numbers, guys. So the second column that you're looking at here, that's going to be for the forced fumbles, and then I'll just show it here. So you got interceptions, forced fumbles, right? You got 1, 2, 3 forced fumbles. Then you have an interception from Lewis. So like even Parsons was getting in on it. A lot of tackles for loss. And again, we were wondering, how many times is it going to be the same old guys that are at the top of this leaderboard? Whether Kendricks, and without him in the mix, we got all these other guys stepping up. So it's just sick because, offense, especially with CeeDee gone, like you see how it's like Ferguson's our main guy. With CeeDee gone, it's basically like the defense is the star of the show right now, and they're acting accordingly. So love it, man.
I don't know what's going to happen next week when CeeDee Lamb's not there to take away, gravitate defenders and kind of create some space that way. Maybe we see. Heaven forbid, I'm going to say it's Jonathan Mingo step up and actually make more than a catch or do something more than a block a game. I don't know. Maybe Flournoy comes out and shows out a little bit more. We saw him get some targets and a catch last week, so we'll see.
Well, real quick, Micah Parsons, he, with that sack he had last night, he reached 50 career sacks, becoming the 6th NFL player since 1982 with at least 50 sacks in the first 4 seasons, joining Reggie White, Derek Thomas, J.J. Watt, DeMarcus Ware, and Dwight Freeney. So this is elite company, and we already knew he was an elite company, but come on, man. Even that's with missing some games this season, So this guy has been pretty clutch for us. Parsons, number 1 in sacks since week 10. Number one in quarterback pressures, 39. And that was 8.5 sacks, by the way. He's, since week 10, number one in pass rush win rate, number one in multi-sack games, 2 forced fumbles, most uncalled holds. And the Cowboys defense since that time has been number one in takeaways, 15, and number one in sacks. Defensive player of the year candidate. Well said by Festive MVP here.
But as you mentioned, he did miss games. That's just that 50 career games, not first 50. So, and there's that, but there's a notable name not on there that you kind of think of and who he was compared to in the first game in the league. LT, man. No, Lawrence Taylor. It's not on here, surprisingly. So, I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
you see Reggie White. Wow.
Yeah. Well, he's cooking, man. And there's still a couple games left to go. So let's see how they end the season. It's going to be tough, missing CeeDee Lamb. But here's another one from Ted Wynn. Saw today and was shocked. 2024 Zimmer believer. He said Cowboys have the top third and long defense in the league. So Zimmerman's been cooking too, man. I think he might have had a tiny slow start, but then there's just so many injuries. So it's like everyone wanted to roast the Cowboys earlier in the season, but they were injured. And then as soon as guys came back, we're balling out. And then we still lose some other guys to injury, but we're still balling out now. So people are starting to gel, and I love it.
Starting to. It took a while, man. We're not just going to say that we get a pass on that Saints game and, the Lions game, and those were just terrible, terrible defenses. So we got to give Zimmer a little bit of blame there for sure. But I think, Michael Parsons was not involved for the Lions, I believe. So, or did we lose him on the Lions game? I forget, but it's so long ago. And I tried to put those games out of my memory.
That was I don't want to think about that one. But yeah, man, there is a lot of promise for next year. Yes, we got to re-sign Parsons. Hey, in the chat, Laurent.
What's up, Laurent?
Our man from France. What's up? He's in our NBA chat, but he's tuning in today. What's up, man?
Yep.
Hey. All right. So let's keep it moving here.
We got the international audience going here tonight. So thanks, Laurent. It's probably morning for you.
I'm actually still in Kansas celebrating Christmas because my father-in-law, he's a healthcare worker, so he was working on Christmas. So we actually did our Christmas today. So that's also why I'm in my Grinch outfit. And I'm hanging out with Amanda, who he knows. That's one of his really good friends, wife, my sister-in-law. That's how I know him. But yeah, man, we just got a lot to be excited about with this team going forward. Yeah, we're injured and we're eliminated from the playoffs. Hey, all good, guys. Nice to hear the voices and learn about the Cowboys. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is a Boston. This is a Patriots guy for what it's worth. Y'all got Drake May. Y'all got a lot to be excited about too. But before I move on to the Eagles, any other thoughts on this game? Or I was going to ask with Zimmer, and I know I need to get you back on screen. With Zimmer, should we re-sign him? He's on a 1-year deal. How are we feeling about that?
I think at this point, Zimmer might be tied to McCarthy in terms of contract, whether we bring him back or not, and length. I think Big D, shout out Big D. I know you couldn't make it tonight, but we're thinking about you. Just the fact that it's so up in the air right now, and Jerry doesn't want to say anything. He just wants to keep, selling tickets and garnering interest around America. Just try to tune in, sell jerseys, what have you. But that's a conversation that we definitely need to get into, and I think that could be dedicated for a whole show. If I'm being honest, I have a lot to say about this subject.
Yeah,
but it would be hard to re-sign him without McCarthy coming back as well. Because if you have a new regime, they want to bring their own guys, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and very rarely does it happen, but it has happened. Like for the Bears back in the day, Buddy Ryan, they was like a co-head coach with Mike Ditka, and so he kind of came along. He said they told Mike Ditka, "You're going to work with this guy," and so it's happened before, and they obviously were successful with it. But that was just an anomaly, I'm sure.
Yeah, and the thing with the Cowboys though is they haven't really let our coaches just do what they want to do, or from the standpoint of you're picking your staff. The Cowboys are picking their staff. That's what's happening. So, so I think I honestly kind of disagree. I think if we got a new coach, the head coach, the Cowboys would still make some decisions on what they want to do at the coordinator positions. We'll see. And yes, we can save that for another show. I only wanted to point out that, we knew Mike Evans coming into this game was chasing that 1,000-yard, streak and all that. And I don't care if he got it or not, but we limited the guy to 69 yards. Nice. And Bucky Irving, who's been cooking as a rookie, only 68 yards. Not so nice. And I mean, all the turnovers, kind of limiting Baker. Yeah, he had 303 yards, but that was a nasty game. And this team, the Bucs have been putting up 30+ every single week. So really fantastic job factoring in all the stuff that the Cowboys are dealing with, because the Bucs are actually pretty healthy, except for Chris Godwin and maybe some other defenders I'm missing. Yeah. But
we beat a good Bucs team. We beat a good Bucs team. I will say that. And we should we should take away the good stuff and talk about the good stuff, because we definitely saw a lot of good stuff. So we should be happy about this. At this point, if the Cowboys had lost this game and they go on to lose the rest, like, we're only talking, 2 to 3 slots on the draft board. Like, you kind of rather have a winning culture and, understand what it takes to win games and close out games and get the reps that you wouldn't otherwise at first team. Vigil, for example, here on the screen, this guy would never have played a snap. The Cowboys are trying to, go for the playoffs and try for the NFC Championship game, and we had all the guys healthy. So this is the kind of thing that you take as positives and move forward for next year, because this was what you build on.
Yes, sir. All right, so let's roll through this Eagles preview. All right, so Eagles, this is an old projection. I'm going to pull up the new one. So this is pre-CeeDee Lamb and pre-news about Jalen Hurts, which became official by now. Everyone's heard, but literally
38 seconds ago.
No. So Jalen Hurts, he's officially out. And the backup Kenny Pickett did play last week, most of the game. I think Hurts went out in the first quarter, and they still put up numbers, by the way. But guess who put up those numbers? It's Saquon Barkley. That guy is. I don't think he was putting up numbers with the Giants, so I'm pretty sure he can put up numbers with Kenny Pickett, right? So at the end of the day, Pickett versus the Cowboys is a different animal, though. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm worried about Kenny Pickett. He had his shot. It's a former first-round quarterback, but he was drafted in the teens. I think pick 16 overall to Pittsburgh Steelers, and didn't work out there after a couple seasons. Now he's the backup, and he's getting his opportunity to get his first start of the year. But he's going to have to dodge Micah Parsons and them boys. So like I mentioned, it started at 9 here, and then it ends up switching over to a spread of 7.5, and it was actually 7 earlier today. So the line's moving down and up as information's kind of coming out. And I think that's just with all the injuries, but for the Eagles, they're still competing with the Commanders for top spot in the division. So it's like, in theory, this is a must-win game for them. It kind of makes me wonder how they truly feel about their chances. I'm trying to show now. They would need to lose the next 2 games, and the Commanders need to win the next 2 in order for the Commanders to take that spot. But in theory, with the way football works, you don't want Jalen Hurts to have taken off a whole month of football. So I bet he comes back next week. We'll see how the concussion protocol works out. But yeah, man, from what I saw, you're feeling pretty optimistic about the Cowboys' chances this week. So how are you feeling about this matchup?
I am, and you kind of nailed it earlier. You said Mr. Micah Parsons and the boys get their chance at not necessarily as mobile of quarterback as the starter there in Hurts, right? So I'm not saying he's statuesque or anything. The guy is athletic. He's an NFL quarterback, but he ain't Jalen Hurts. So that said, our defensive line or linebackers have been causing the type of pressure that we wanted all season, finally. And then we're finally seeing some of the turnovers there in the secondary as well. So I think that with the fact that the Cowboys just have really nothing to lose, literally, it's only it's all against the Eagles. And we know this is a division game. We saw what happened to the Eagles last week, bro. Let's just talk about that. You saw them give up that huge lead after Hurts went out to the Washington Commanders, a team that the Dallas Cowboys did beat in Washington. So these are the reasons that I'm a little bit more optimistic than you probably.
Oh, God. Look at that win streak. Holy shit. Yeah, you lose Hurts and you lose a game. So you're right.
You lose Hurts and you lose a game. And Pickett's has been getting first team reps all week. That is going to help him a little bit. And it probably helps that they got an MVP candidate in Saquon Barkley back there as well. But, the Cowboys are here to win and to beat their most hated opponent. Right. We want to play spoiler. We want to Grinch that shit too,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Joe's about to make me come off my pick and flip my pick here.
Yeah.
So I say let's give our pick predictions and Dave, what's up?
Look at that! Just look at that away.
Oh man,
away record, dude. 5-2. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
So Dave, he's got 23. Well, I'll say 27-23 Cowboys winning. So that's Dave locking it in, and
okay.
I'll keep
Thanks,
it.
Big D.
I'll keep it 100. All right. So my prediction. I did have the Eagles winning it, all right, and you're kind of making me want to flip here. It's just so hard to imagine without CeeDee Lamb because I feel like it has to be. Look, one of the things I wanted to say is Cooper Rush is better than Kenny Pickett. Period, in my opinion.
Yes.
And then we have the Eagles defense is good, all right, but I just haven't seen Cooper Rush flinch really, but I'm just gonna stick with it because I put it on the books, right? So I've got 24, Philly, Cowboys 13. I just know that sometimes without Lamb we struggle to put up points, So I think we get a touchdown and a couple of Brandon Aubrey field goals, get the heck up out of there. There's a world where the Cowboys putting CeeDee Lamb on IR is the signal that all right, that's it, man. We had a great run, but now we close out the season and try to keep the rest of our guys healthy. I wouldn't be surprised if like a Parsons sits out the fourth quarter of this game or something.
Well, we've seen Micah Parsons be on a snap count. He's the only guy that makes sense to do that ever since coming back from injury, right? And CeeDee Lamb, like I don't think it's necessarily waving the white flag. They just want to preserve him because they know that there's really nothing to play for, and he got his 1,000 yards. So I think we're good there. He probably got that little extra bonus and, the historic numbers. So now that he's got that in the books, he showed how tough he is, and he's going to make the Pro Bowl again, I'm sure. I just think that the Cowboys are still trying to win games despite everything and all the injuries and everyone not suiting up who's a, all perennial Pro Bowler.
It's going to sound weird, but I'm confident that I'm wrong and that we're going to win and we're not going to lose. But I'm just gonna pick it. So what's your pick? Let me get your score.
I got the Cowboys 27-20, and I think the defense gets one of those touchdowns for the Cowboys.
Okay, I love it. There we go. That's what we need, and we've seen those. I think 2 weeks ago we got one of those, or maybe it was. Yeah,
I think we see a pick at 6. Yo.
Oh, pick
sorry,
at 6.
That was
that was right there. It was right there.
Yeah, I was right there. I had to take it.
All right. So we're gonna move on to a special situation here, okay? Because the season is closing towards the end, and guys, we're gonna have a lot more content. This is our last episode before the end. No, actually, it might not be. We got another Monday before the end of the year, actually. So Never mind. But point is, we're switching it up this episode, okay? Because we did a poll in our chat, and the Cowboy Nation has spoken. The fans think we should target a running back in the draft. I love what Rico Dowdle's been doing, but I love when we had a Zeke in a Pollard type of situation. So I don't hate the idea of having both. Maybe signing Rico Dowdle. I can't imagine he's just garnering a massive contract. Derrick Henry didn't even garner a massive contract. I think they got him for $8 million. And even Saquon wasn't even that much. And we'll get Dowdle for way cheaper than those guys. Likely.
We've talked about that before.
No. I'm not trying to open an old wound. But so the question of today is: should the Cowboys pull the trigger on a running back with pick 14? And guys, let us know if you got any thoughts on it. Ashton Jeanty is the top-ranked running back right now, and if he's still on the board, we're wondering, should we take him over a wide receiver or a defensive lineman? And guys, really quickly, just kind of a quick, housekeeping thing. A mock draft, that's based on the team needs, and you'll see big boards with all the players. That's just based on the talent, right? So Jeanty actually might be more talented than a lot of other players coming into the NFL, but teams sometimes have a bigger need for a lineman to protect the quarterback so he doesn't get injured like Dak, or whatever that situation might be. So I'm going to show here Giants potentially taking Shadur Sanders, Travis Hunter, Mason Graham, a D lineman, Cam Ward, Tari McMillan, that's a wide receiver, Will Johnson, cornerback. We got Will Campbell, another O-lineman. We got Abdul Carter, edge. Mikael Williams, an edge. Malachi Starks. We got Kelvin Banks Jr. out of Texas. He's a offensive tackle there. And then Jalen Walker, Colson Loveland, tight end. And then Ashton Jeanty at 14, right ahead of us. And we were last week projected at the 14th spot, but we moved back after the Bucs win. We'll see how things shake out with the last two games here. But then Cowboys are projected Luther Burden, and then right after us is James Pearce Jr. So those three guys, I feel like that's a great place for us to look at, because it fits in what this poll was saying. We want wide receiver, running back, D lineman, and we're going to look at some other prospects down the line as well. But let's take a look at these guys. Ashton Jeanty, this is this PFF grade, 97.2 rush grade. That's number one in the nation. Doesn't matter what year or class, but he happens to be coming out in this class. And this guy's nasty. 2,287 yards on 313 attempts, 28 touchdowns, a couple fumbles there. And in that second line, you can see some of his other stats, but I'll focus on the receptions, 18. And that's fine for a running back. The college running backs don't get a ton of targets, but that's actually you would like him to be in that 20 range if you're saying, hey, this guy definitely can catch. But we've seen this guy, and he can absolutely do pretty much anything you might need him to. And this is a little bit more of a detailed version. We're gonna look at a couple of other guys as well, but guys, you'll want to not just look at the 2024 production when you're looking at college prospects. You can also look at their 2023, years before. You don't want to go too far back at the bottom here. I do have the 2023 production, and this is a guy who you can see he's gotten better every single year, right? And that's what you want out of your college prospects, to just continue to get better. And we know injuries can happen, right? But it's one of those things where that's also part of the draft calculus. Best ability is availability, right? So if a guy can't stay on the field for college, then sometimes we're not sure if they can stay on the field for the NFL. And here's a quick clip of Jeanty.
Jeanty, his first touch.
And mute that. This guy can break tackles. Like, you saw him just shake that guy off. Got to pause it here. Breakaway speed. Jeanty, this guy, I'll give the specs right. 5'9". So kind of short, right? But that's more of like the bowling ball type height if you have the weight, and he does. He's 215 pounds, so that's more of like a Maurice Jones-Drew type size. And that guy was ran a 4.39, right? MJD. So that's perfect. You want a guy with a low center of gravity. He's 21 years old. I thought he was pretty nasty, man. I bet when we see the combine, he's gonna have that 4.3 speed. It's just, to me, there's no way that he doesn't. He can kind of break away on any given play. We see it time and time again. He's just breaking loose on so many different plays. And I think that one of the concerns sometimes is, can your running back be a do-it-all guy? And I think he can be a goal line back. He can be a guy that you split out wide. I've seen him catch some decent passes. And I mean, 1,695 yards after contact. I mean, that's pretty damn good.
Let me just jump in here.
Jump in.
Yeah. Are you glazing right now, bro? I'm just kidding. Hey, let's just say that every defense that he faced this year was scheming to stop him. Guess what? Nobody could. His worst game, Portland State, 127 yards, but they won by 50-something points, so he probably didn't play the fourth quarter or barely the third. So what I'm saying is, like, this guy knows how to read defenses, and he's a smart guy, super smart guy. Let me just say some of the do it all back. He could do pretty much anything. I will say that, his pad level probably needs to be a little bit lower. And then his pass blocking technique probably needs some work. And then I think we've seen just on film him, instead of running through, getting some extra yardage, maybe he's just running out of bounds and avoiding tackles, making business decisions. That's fine, but those are just some of the baby cons, if you will. But we had to see both sides. I'm not saying anything negative. I would love to have this guy on my football team. I will say maybe the comparisons I would think would be like a D'Angelo Williams, kind of a throwback. D'Angelo Williams, remember him? And then maybe even like a smaller Bijan Robinson in some ways. Kind of. So those are probably the two guys that I might compare him to.
Oh, a little smaller Bijan Robinson, because he's definitely better than Jahmyr Gibbs, to be honest, to me. Because the problem with the Lions right now is they lost David Montgomery, and the very last game the Lions played, Gibbs couldn't get. They gave him 4 goal line attempts.
I know. I had him on my fantasy team, bro. I needed that touchdown.
Yeah, he got it though on the 4th try, but because they kept beating him. But not every team's going to do that. I remember when Clyde Edwards-Helaire came into the league in the first game, they gave him 4 goal line attempts. He could never get there, and then he was done the rest of the season. Basically, they realized, oops, that didn't work. I have to pause this. Shout out to Just Bombs. Got to give a little kudos, credit here to folks that are grinding and putting out this tape. Appreciate you guys in the community there, because we love looking at these prospects, and just want to make sure y'all get y'all's credit there. But this guy, so here's kind of a goal line attempt here. He's going to get the handoff, and just the vision. I think the vision's there, and in the real NFL, the lanes are not going to really be there for him, right? There's not going to be those same open lanes for this guy. He's kind of getting some decent lanes and decent looks here, but at the same time, you're going to see on plays like this where he's at the 25-yard line, and do you think number 0 is going to catch this guy?
Well, let's talk a little bit about the teams and the quality of players.
So there you go. There's the red flag. Right? Thank you, Joe.
Let's the only ranked team they played this year was Oregon, and they lost 37-34. Not to say that Jeanty didn't do his part. He had 192 yards and 3 touchdowns.
This is versus Oregon right here.
Yeah, I'm saying, and then we're going to see him against Micah's team, Penn State, here on here on the 34th. Here, just a few days, guys. It's coming up. That's like a Tuesday, I think. So
yeah, that'll be a game to watch. There'll be some more decent competition.
Man, it's so we're going to get even better grades on him. Hopefully, nothing bad happens, because you know how superstars like to sit out a bowl game sometimes. Well, they're going for a ship, so he's playing. This dude wants to show out.
Yeah, he's
this could help his draft stock. Maybe we're not going to have this conversation anymore because he's just going to shoot himself up the board. Hopefully for him that happens. Maybe not so much for the Cowboys, but like I hope this guy does really well against that team. And I want to see these playoffs are about to get really, really cool for college.
Yeah, so I think we'll Jeanty, originally we're wondering, do we draft, do we not? And I'll tell you, I was kind of just on general principle thinking, no, all right, fine, well, let's just not do it, okay? But the guy is definitely electric, and it might be hard to pass on that guy if he's there because we don't have Rico Dowdle on contract. We don't, and Zeke's not on contract. We don't have anybody on contract, so it is a big need. We have some young
free agent. He might be our only running back on roster after the NFL season ends.
That's man. So this guy's pretty nasty, and let us know if y'all would think that's the move. Like I said, I know
Sean Percelli wants him. Sean Percelli, shout out if you're listening, man. I know you've been wanting this guy since last year, basically, but yeah, that would be cool if he's there. I say get him.
Yeah, man. So Jeanty's pretty nice, and I'll say when I'm looking at who else the alternatives are, it's tough because Luther Burden is who we pick in this draft, right? I want Jeanty over Burden, period, in my opinion. But
yeah. Well, let's talk about Burden. Let's go into that one next.
Yeah, let's do it. So Luther Burden, this is not Luther Burden. So Luther Burden, this is his PFF grades. So for 2024, it was actually a down year for him. He had a 80.3 receiving grade. You'll see at the bottom under season grades. 80.3, but the year in 2023, he had a 91.6, and I actually have that board here, the 2023 board. These are the games, right? And I'm glad I remembered this, Joe. In 2024, this season, look at the reception the yards. He has only one 100-yard game. Okay, he had some injury. He missed some games in there, I believe. I don't know. Maybe it was a bye week, but only one 100-yard games. I did not like seeing that. But in 2023, he had, he actually started off hot, cooled down in the middle. I don't know what it was, but this is another one where even though this guy's in the SEC, the 100-yard games are coming against Middle Tennessee, Kansas State, Memphis, Vanderbilt.
That was my point.
Yeah. Exactly.
But bro, he's in the SEC and he's on one of the worst teams in the SEC. I mean, the SEC is stacked. We know that, but bro, it's only going to get tougher in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. Yeah. This is my personal opinion, and if you want to run some clip or talk a little bit more about him, we can. But like, I don't know if we need another wide receiver in the first round right now. I just don't know. I wouldn't like that necessarily. Yeah, you see the clips. You know who he kind of reminds me of? A guy that kind of broke out this year, Zay Flowers for the Ravens. He's kind of got like a little smaller, but really tough, can really choppy, run routes, can juke guys and also run guys over a little bit, really good hands. So that's kind of who I compare him to, I would guess. And tough runner. He has a little bit of top end. Yep.
Yeah, let me do.
But I just don't think that I don't think it's a first round difference maker that this Dallas Cowboys football team needs for next year.
Yeah, I'm glad you came to that conclusion.
Yeah, I think you drafted Flournoy and other guys. You brought in Bingo. Like, come on, dude. Like, you're trying to do something elsewhere. You ain't going to do it in the draft this coming year. Is what my thought is. So
watch it.
Dude, I like some of his cool highlights, but yeah, not first round material for me.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were going to read my notes or not, but I purposely left off all my negative notes and only put my positive notes in the group chat because I was wondering what y'all's true thoughts on
No,
this guy.
no,
was.
I want to form my own opinions. So
Yeah.
I didn't even look.
So he's got hands. He can create separation, but I feel like he's getting schemed up a little bit. But he is shifty in space.
Yeah, you see,
he
that's like a Zeke
gotta-
Flowers move, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, so this guy is 5'11", 208 pounds. So the weight is there. The BMI is there. I would like a little bit taller personally, but the BMI is there. So he's not going to be a Debo, but he does have that BMI that's in the right spot. He's at least 20 to 25 pounds heavier than Zay Flowers already. So he's got an NFL, like he can take those NFL hits and all that stuff. 61 catches on 80 targets, 676 yards this past season, 6 TDs. So again, a down season, but he does have good yak. I think he's a versatile player, but I'm just not sure if the wrong team picks him. Like we have to assume it's Cowboys, right, in this situation. So if the Cowboys pick him, I do think he could be a number 2. I've been hearing him talked about as a number 1, and I just don't think he has elite speed when it's all said and done for the NFL.
Sorry, but we've got a number 1, and that dude who just signed a massive contract. We don't need a number 1 wide receiver. Is all I'm saying. We got that.
Yeah. So I'm struggling with Luther Burden as our guy to pick. And again, that's another reason why it's like, well, I'd rather have Ashton Jeanty in this spot.
Yeah.
I got another one here. He's got hands, dude. Look at this catch. I mean,
yeah. The dude's going to make a lot of money at the NFL, okay? He's going to do just fine, but just not for us, I think.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, man. So, cool. Let's go on to our next guy here.
Yeah, who's our next guy here?
Take these guys down.
This next guy I'm really excited about, actually. I've been studying this guy for a while.
James Pearce Jr. And
JPJ.
I love what Micah Parsons is doing on the edge, but like imagine if we had a D-Ware Micah Parsons. Like obviously D-Wares are in a different generation, right? Because different age, but like James Pearce Jr., this guy has the size right now and has the athleticism right now. 6'5", 243, 21 years old. He's fast, athletic. He's got good bend, but I don't even see this guy even having to use the edge because he can just fly right through guys, either swimming into the interior. I see them pull him around sometimes to go through the middle just because the teams, want to keep the offensive line guessing of where they got to actually defend this guy. So 89.6 pass rush grade in 2024. And this is another guy who's improved every single season. And this is a big jump. I think maybe 4 spot. Anyway, he was one of the best. He wasn't the best. I think he was top 16 in the nation. But still, he's a guy who, if we go back to the draft board, he's definitely someone, and I'll actually show the kind of big board that I was referencing earlier where folks have him at 13. Again, we're projected at pick 15 right now. And just for what it's worth while we're here, Ashton Jeanty, hopefully you guys can see my screen. Ashton Jeanty, he's ahead of him at 9. We also see, I'm wondering, where's Luther Burden on this list?
We're still looking at the mock draft.
Oh, yeah, 14. So, okay, you still got the mock draft up?
Yeah.
All right. Let me pull that down. Boom. Here we go. So, yeah, Jeanty at 9. We got James Pearce Jr. at 13, Luther Burden at 14. So, other people have all these guys in the same range. And, again, that's why I'm thinking, who are people that we could potentially get? Because I'm not just trying to say, yeah, obviously I want Tatario McMillan, or obviously I want the top players. Like, who can we realistically get? Because we have not seen
obviously
trade up.
I would love Kelvin Banks Jr. from Texas, obviously, personally. Myself.
I love that pick. And guys, listen up.
Travis Hunter, too.
Next episode,
Heisman.
Maybe this next episode we'll preview Kelvin Banks Jr. This is his player card. Ted McMillan, this is his player card. These are some other great prospects. I'm a fan of Trey Harris myself. So those are some other guys that we're going to be jumping into later. But James Pearce, and let me pull up a little clip here, but
Yeah, man, the clip is
I,
crazy.
I like this guy. And this is a different one from what you've seen or what I sent to the group chat at least. But yeah, breaking. That's one of the edge moves. Bending on the outside, breaking through arm blocks. The guys are trying to chase him, can't stop him. All the
Just
hurries,
bulldozes the running back, trying to chip him. Yeah, no.
Yeah. So whether he's forcing the hurries or pressures, or even getting to the quarterback and getting these sacks, and he's stopping runs. I've seen some good run stop plays as well. Like, he's making these quarterbacks get rid of it quick. And I love, shout out to Jordan, who is saying we needed to talk about this guy, because I think this guy could be pretty nasty for us in the right situation.
Hey, Jordan, we're waiting for you to come on the podcast, talk about the breakdown and the mock drafts. We got our buddy Jordan Day. I know he's always listening, so shout out to him. You guys will get a chance to hear from him. He's our draft guru that we're going to be specialized on bringing in onto the show here in the off season. So you're going to love it. He's done work all year breaking it down just on his own. So we didn't even ask this guy to do it. He just loves doing it, and it's going to be some great material. But let's just keep talking about JPJ. I love this guy too. I think I don't want to sound Cowboy bias, Texas bias, but he reminds me of a bigger DeMarvion Overshown, who's just at the edge position. Because if Overshown was bigger, he would be him, I think, in my opinion. But it's like he is rangy, he's obviously got the reach, and he's explosive and strong. So like all the things. I mean, yeah, we can keep talking about him. Yeah.
This guy, definitely someone that, you look back and people were high on him even last year. And I think, there's been some other prospects that have kind of stepped into the spotlight. So, maybe we get lucky and he can fall down to us. And in this mock again, we passed on him for wide receiver. I understand there's a big wide receiver need. Our last trade was for a wide receiver. So we know that the team is thinking about that position, and it's just hard to have it all on CeeDee Lamb. And I wonder if the injury to CeeDee Lamb, if that factors in at all, because remember we had that stretch with no Jake Ferguson, and it was only Lamb, and then we lost Brandon Cooks for a stretch, and it's like I don't know. It would have been nice to have Dak throughout that period because we did get wins with it just being Lamb and Ferg, but
You're opening a can of worms, Pandora's box, if you will, because now we're talking about replacements for Zach Martin. We're talking about, replacements for DeMarcus Lawrence, who, who knows how good he's going to be next year coming off injury. He played one game this year. Like, there's a lot of holes, a lot of free agents, a lot of needs for this Cowboys team to address.
Yeah, so James Pearce Jr., 8 sacks. 25 tackles, 4 assists. Overall, like I said, 89 pass rush grade, but 87 defensive grade overall. I love the fact that he can get to the quarterback. So that's just another threat that just makes his defense nasty. And honestly, I don't know if we really just flat out said it, but it feels like the Cowboys have had a defensive, like when I think of the Cowboys, I don't always think of offense anymore. I know we led the league in offense for multiple seasons, but we've been almost like a defensive awesome team too. Like I know that there's some folks out there that play fantasy, and Cowboys had a stretch of being a top defense as well as a top offense. So I would love to just keep adding pieces. Let Zimmer get some say, because Zimmer just comes in, but maybe now Zimmer gets a chance to pick a guy that can probably replace Kendricks. I'm not sure we bring back Kendricks. There's so many guys, like Dave mentioned on our previous show, that are leaving, but like we need somebody that can be that leader. It's going to be Parsons, but I would love to just have someone else there that is just always super reliable and dependent upon, versus me kind of being surprised by some of the talent that we got, because I'm just not sure how much the Cowboys are just going to rely on these guys, because they love it to be their high draft picks that they really lean into. And I would feel good about the future of the defensive line if we we got that shirt up. I know the middle part, the run defense has been our struggle. So, but we can't just try to keep fixing the Mozzie Smith hole. I'm not like, let's just, we don't need to force it if that's not there at DT in the middle. I'm fine going after a nasty edge like this guy.
Yep. 100%. I think we're in agreement there.
All right. So now let's see, can we get one of these guys? That's how I wanted to frame it, Joe. We want to jump into a mock draft. All right. And can we get one of these guys? That's what I want to see. So give me a moment. I'm just pulling it up, and we're going to jump in to a 2025 Dallas Cowboys mock draft. And here we go. All right.
I'll be Jerry Jones because I'm older, and you can be Will Clay. Okay.
All right. We're gonna do this on turbo mode. Okay, so we're not watching anyone else's picks. We will do 7 rounds, but that's just so we can fill out the team and get our draft grade. So we'll go ahead and start this off. I'm not gonna worry too much about the sliders. It is what it is. We'll just jump into this thing. So Cowboys at 15. We'll see what happens. And we're not going to do any trades, guys. Joe, let me make sure. Can you see my screen here? Let me know.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. All right. We're starting the draft. So Cowboys are up. If I look at the full draft, it's kind of similar to what we saw before. The same cast of characters went.
Calvin Banks went to the Bears. Wow. I hope
Luther Burden.
He's going to die there.
At 9.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
The Jets.
Luther Burden goes at 9. And I'm slowly scrolling because you're noticing who's has not been taken. And we're talking about the guys that we just.
I don't see a Jeanty yet. I don't see any. Oh, there it is. Yeah, right. We got sniped by the Bengals.
So we got technically sniped by the Jets and the Bengals, but we decided we don't want the Burden.
I mean, I think we already talked about it. Let's go get our guy.
All right, so. We're feeling James Pearce Jr. Let's go ahead and lock it in. Hey, all right, I'm taking a shot. We got him. All right. Now, round 2. So obviously we got James Pearce added to the squad. Shout out to Jordan. We got him. We got your guy. This was actually the first prospect that we really wanted to talk about was James Pearce Jr. So it's awesome to see we got him on our first try. Now, notice, again, we did not go running back. Right ahead of us, a few picks before Travion Henderson, Ohio State running back, went there. Okay, so that's not an option for us. In the first round, there's also Quinshon Judkins, who's also on Ohio State. So 2 Ohio State running backs go. Omarion Hampton goes to the Ravens. I guess he's replacing Derrick Henry in the future. But even before that, Caleb Johnson goes to the Steelers to replace Najee Harris, who did not get his 5th-year option picked up. So that's 4 first-round running backs, by the way. Okay, this is a nasty running back class. And I'll also point out that there were 2 top 10 wide receivers. I have to count Travis Hunter. So 3 top 10 wide receivers. Then at 17, a wide receiver. At 22, a wide receiver. And then we'll scroll through. No other wide receiver goes. So about 5 receivers and 5 running backs go. But a ton of edges went for what it's worth, and we got our guy, but a ton of them went also. So we got kind of the cream of the crop there. So now we don't need to overthink it too much. I say look at the running back position, okay, and then we'll look at the wide receiver position. Those are the 2 other positions we were just reviewing. Dylan Sampson, who's the teammate of the guy we just drafted in James Pearce Jr., Tennessee. This guy's good. I know you haven't looked at this guy. That's totally fine. He's actually really good. I like Ollie Gordon. He may or may not have had some off the field issues. Let's not speak on it. But
Trevor Etienne, the brother.
Yeah, you know who? Yeah,
Jack's running back. Yeah.
Devin Neal. I'm in Kansas right now, guys. Devin Neal is one of the fastest running backs in the league. One of the fastest college players. So it's just not a guy I would draft with my second pick overall. Jaquindon Jackson, this guy's big. He's nice. Yeah. We're not going to go that far down, but Dylan Sampson would not be a crazy reach with our 2nd round pick. I just don't
think you go back-to-back balls. Like, there's something that
about that. I totally agree. Like, when does that ever work out? So we're gonna take a quick look at wide receiver. Xavier Restrepo, I like that. I like that name for some reason. But wide receivers, this guy was really nasty with Cam Ward. I've seen a couple of his games. I think he's easily a top 10 wide receiver in this class. Isaiah Bond out of Texas.
Huh.
I think so, man. He had a nice comeback game. I can't remember against who, but they were just feeding this guy to help win them that game. I think Restrepo's good. Isaiah Bond out of Texas, we know him well. Tez Johnson out of Oregon. Dylan Gabriel, has like a lot of records at quarterback, and Tez Johnson was leaned on heavily by him and heavily by Bo Nix. He's the adopted brother of Bo Nix, by the way. But I say let's take Trey Harris. I am wondering in this mock draft, will he fall to the next round? Our next remaining pick is 79. He's ranked pick 79, but a lot of times receivers get reached on because teams need receiver, and I happen to have his full PFF grade already mocked up, but they had this thing here, but this guy, he was one of the best receivers in college. So let me know, Joe, would you go with which receiver of those that we talked about do you like, and then would you go with them or the running back at this spot?
You know what? To be honest, I'd probably go best player available. And
Okay,
just kind of
you're
see
honestly
where it
right.
falls from there. Then I think in the third round you get a running back or wide receiver. Best one available of those positions.
Okay. And honestly, when we were talking about wide receiver, you're all in on CeeDee Lamb. When we were talking about Birdie, you're like, we already got Lamb. And look, we could re-sign Dowdle and be fine.
I would be fine with Xavier Watts there from Notre Dame. My brother Isaac went to Notre Dame, and we watched the playoff game together. And I think he had an interception last game too. I would be fine with that as well.
Cowboys fans say we don't need a safety, but screw this, Cowboys fans. We're going Notre Dame here. We're taking Xavier Watts. I did say I like the Xavier name. We're taking them. I was with you and your brother, and we were watching that Notre Dame game the other day, and that was awesome.
Sure.
So we
got oldest son's name.
hey, you weren't supposed to say that. All right. No, I'm playing. So now we're in the third round. Let's look at the running backs. And I'm taking Trey Harris. He made it. He fell to us.
Yes.
Yes. Let's go.
Let's do it.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Your other brother, your youngest brother, Zach. He and I have Trey Harris on a Campus to Canton College fantasy team where now that he's graduating, he'll automatically be added to our NFL roster. So I can't wait to start Trey Harris. Yeah. And here's the sad thing, guys. We don't have a fourth round pick. Okay. It's Jonathan Mingo. That's our fourth round pick.
What happened to that?
Harris,
oh God! Oh,
yeah, Trey Harris is way better than Mingo. I want to go to the
3 fifth rounders.
And guys, this is actually the area that you would want to draft a running back. Sure, in this last class, yes, there's a ton of fourth round running backs we would have loved to have had a Bucky Irving in the fourth round. Actually, in this 2025 class, I would also like to have a fourth round pick. Dang it.
Yeah, man.
But I say we go Nick Singleton. This is a beast. Okay. Penn State, you just mentioned they're going to play against Ashton Jeanty in this bowl game. You're going to get a chance to watch Nick Singleton. I would say my choice are him or Jaquindon Jackson. I like both those guys, but I would, get former Parsons alma mater type guy. It's not about that. Nick Singleton's a beast. He was regarded a couple seasons ago as like the number one running back in this class. He had a down season, but once we get deeper into draft season, you're going to be talking about Nick Singleton. Okay, I'll tell you that right now. You got your Notre Dame pick.
Give me some time. Yeah, give me some time to do my homework, man. I'm still focused on closing out the year in sales and my jobs.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So needs RB. Let's just go ahead and knock it out. We could play game theory because we're in a draft and wait and see if Nick Singleton makes it. We have, it looks like 4 fifth round picks. So let's do BPA here.
Does that make up for 1 fourth round? We trade them all or 3 of them?
Let's do. Yeah, right. You're hilarious.
We should have might have
BPA.
a compensatory coming up too. We don't know that yet. Compensatory
Do we
picks.
go? We already got a safety, but we could go. Do we need a lineman here? Like, what's our? No, we have our center, right? We feel good about that. I say we risk it on the running back because we have another pick, and we take BPA here, and then try to get Nick Singleton with one of the next picks.
Right,
I like Lacey.
Oh, Jake
right.
Majors. That'd be cool. But,
Majors. Was that out of Texas? Okay, let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Okay, but he's center, so let's do a tackle. We'll go Emory Jones.
yeah, let's go Jones.
And then we'll go. I say, it's tough when you go in BPA, but I say Jake Majors here, and then we go running back and see if my guy slipped.
All right.
Oh no!
Filter,
Oh no!
filter.
There's a ton of running backs.
Dude, there's still a lot of guys left.
And we have back
You
to
said
back
it, dude.
here, so we'll go Singleton here just to give him a little respect,
Okay.
and then we can go. We shouldn't go Homer, right? And
I think we go defensive line again.
okay. So
Or you take a flyer and a tight end. Who knows? Or another guard.
I don't want that tight end though. I like the guard idea. Let's go.
Who do we have at edge?
Edge. Let's do edge here. Okay. Danny
Ooh.
Denise Sutton. This is and it's close between
Not a
these
lot of
two.
edge left. Yeah.
So let's go. Well, we got our James Pearce Jr., but
I know. Yeah.
I don't mind depth. We can hit that. Last look, and we'll make our
I
pick.
bet one of those guys will be available next round.
I mean,
18 picks.
Rank 180. Our next pick is 189. But one of those, the Florida State guy might be there. So let's wait. We'll go. How about cornerback? Are we feeling confident that all these guys are going to stay healthy?
You might look at Jack Nelson. Historically, we've drafted some good Wisconsin linemen. Obviously, Fred Beard being the OG there, probably the year.
I like it.
Yeah.
Let's get another one. I'm down. And we did mention that the crew pointed out, and I'll quickly show the poll one more time. Linebacker was a need. So far, we got the edge for the DL. We got a tackle for O-line. We got a running back. We got a wide receiver. Do we?
Yeah. Let's
maybe
look at linebackers.
Linebacker here. There was a decent one. I'm going to go back. All right. So there was Georgia linebacker here. Somali Mondon Jr.
We saw him against Texas twice. I know that he put up some tackles. That's for sure.
Let's do it. Let's go with him and then see if who falls. So, okay, we got one of the edges to fall.
Okay.
And we can either go tackle. Actually, the tackle's kind of dried up now. So, but we have the tackle at least already. And we got other picks. So let's go with that edge, the Florida State edge that we talked about. So we got one of them to fall. So we're good at edge. We got it. The future of edge kind of locked in. Got some depth.
One
got
left.
our receiver. And we've got one pick left. So we're at pick 210. And
we just go best available right now. So
non-quarterback.
Just do all non-quarterbacks.
Yeah, we're on all.
Okay.
We'll just do this. So,
dude, Jackson is still there at running back. Maybe you take a flyer on him.
I like him.
Yeah.
I like him.
I saw him again. He's a bigger back, if I remember correctly, against Texas, and he's got some quick feet and can run some guys over.
And we took a linebacker, right? Okay, so we're good then. And we even took kind of our luxury pick. I just want to quickly check. The other position was cornerback that nobody wanted, but okay. Well, I think you're right. I think I think I like the idea because after Rico Dowdle, we have no running back signed in next year except for Deuce Vaughn, I think. So,
Jeanty slipped from us.
We just secured our running back room. Let's take a look at the draft board. So we got a D for James Pearce Jr. Don't worry about the grades. They don't know. It's too early. I was about to say they don't know.
You got an F for Singleton. look at Jackson. That pick.
Yeah, there we go. We made up for it. So don't worry about the grades, guys. If we addressed all of our needs and then maybe make one meager free agency move that we might not even end up making.
Free agency to the Cowboys means re-signing the guys who were on the team last year who are not going to be under contract last day of the NFL season, NFL year.
Yeah, we got 2.
Which I believe is at the end of February. So,
yeah, 2 linemen. We got 2 edges. We got 2 running backs. We got our receiver to complement CeeDee Lamb. That's going to replace Brandon Cooks and all the other guys. It'll be Tolbert will still be there. Tolbert's changed my mind. I was out on Tolbert, then I was in on Tolbert, then I was out on Tolbert. I'm back in on Tolbert as wide receiver 3. And hopefully we resign Ferguson or we're good with Schoonmaker. We don't need a tight end. I know that. So
I'd be okay with no Tolbert.
Good about this.
If Flournoy beats him out in camp or something like I don't want someone else to rise to the top here. Like Tolbert's like kind of a backup plan. He's been that backup plan for the last 3 years, and we've seen him like drop some easy touchdowns, easy balls, and we've also seen him make some insane, crazy catches. So, yeah, not sure what to make of that dude. I guess he's just that guy now. Like he could be incredible, or he could, rip your heart out.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm feeling pretty good about this. First round, that we, I like James Pearce. Forget the draft grade. We already looked at a lot of folks have him as a top 15, top 13 prospect. Some have him even higher. And again, guys, next week we're gonna take a look at Kelvin Banks Jr. out of Texas here, and they got him going to 7. So this is more the next draft episode. I want to look at what if we get one of these guys that are a little bit ahead of where we might be in the draft. What if we get it to Target McMillan, who's at 2? Like, can we trade up? I don't think he's actually going to go at 2 for what it's worth. I think there's going to be 2 quarterbacks. It depends because
Cam Ward might sneak in there.
Yeah,
Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, maybe.
You have to trade out of that pick if you're Patriots, and if you already have your quarterback, you got to get a draft haul there. I think quarterbacks are going those early couple picks.
Yeah, and I don't buy the Jets getting another wide receiver here at 9. They already have 2 really good receivers, so I just don't see there being a need in the room for a third good receiver at this point. When it's the number 1 pick, the Jets have too many other needs.
Yeah,
and Wilson and Adams, come on, that's a pretty solid start.
Yeah, man. So I feel pretty good about it. Appreciate you humoring me with the early look mock draft.
It's fine. It's not way too early. It's just a little early. But it's good to be delving into this because now it actually matters. We're not in the playoffs, and we're going to get a top 16 pick. So we'll see what happens. And
somehow in this draft, I think we got our guys, the guys we were targeting. So I feel pretty good about that too. We delivered, man. So let's wrap this thing up, man. Get you back. Get us both back to the fam. Hopefully everybody had happy holidays and
happy holidays.
And we got another. We had a lot of games early in the middle of this. We got a Wednesday game, which was crazy. We have some Saturday games coming up, and then Cowboys will be back at it on Sunday. So we'll be back. We got one more episode before the end of the year, man. And again, shout out to our boy Dave. Thoughts and prayers to him and the fam. Love you guys. Love you, bro. Cheers. This shot goes to Dave. And you too, Joe. I appreciate you guys rocking with me this whole season, man. It's been
guys.
Dude. Hey, hop in here. Let's go. I gotta figure out how to.
Oh, I got the fam.
God.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I gotta. All right, we're in this thing.
Hey.
Merry
Hey.
Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays, guys.
All right, y'all. Hey, appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, and we'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.
All right. Peace.
Write it, Joel. Write it.